Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So I'm back in here with Tower Simulator 3, continuing to just enjoy Tower Companion. So I am returning now to where this series started, where I am going to try the first official challenge once again, but now I am equipped with all of the extra experience and information I have had of how this really excellent add-on works, and therefore hopefully how to get a better score than I had before, which I think was 2170 points. Part of the issue is I do now know how to avoid delays, so there's basically a couple, I guess you'll call them tricks, tips or tricks, that you have. So when a plane is going to the runway, if you issue it the line up and wait command, like you can have, however many planes in a row waiting to take off, and you're not getting a delay there. That was definitely, I think, what was causing me the most issue, because if you recall the LaGuardia challenge, runway 3113 is closed for maintenance, so all flights need to come through 0422. And so you've got a little bit of a challenge there. You also have to really pay attention to planes that are landing and vacating, because if they're not given a taxi to terminal, you have a problem. But the other thing that I did learn is once they have a taxi to terminal, if there is a runway crossing that needs to happen, which in some cases certainly would be the case if they have to cross runway 31 to get back to the terminal. I think at times I was rushing to make a call to a plane to cross the runway, thinking, oh my goodness, it's going to stop and it's not going to be clear. It does not actually hurt you either if it's already on a taxi route. So you really basically have your two key points where you don't want a plane sitting at the gate, so obviously not getting called to begin with, and then once they're pushed back, you want to give them a taxi instruction immediately. And then you don't want them stuck at the runway without a line up and wait. But if you give them a line up and wait, you can have 20 planes in a row, and they'll just, as one takes off, the next one goes, and it doesn't consider that a delay. So I'm hoping that will help me improve the score, so I'm going to give this a try. But at this point, just so you have a pin in the ground of where we sit in reality, this is the night of Sunday, May 18th. So that is where I sit. My trial runs through the 25th, but I'm down to basically a couple schedules that I can create. I did in a video that I released early in the cycle, so if you've been following this series or just looking at what I put out with this, it's really the only, I guess, what you would say is the closest to how-to video I have on Tower Companion, where I basically share all the things I've learned after getting myself to level 20 on the schedule side. And then we also explored creating challenges, and we also explored creating schedules, or just worth schedules based on reality. And so we determined some things there, so I'll encourage you, if you want some of that information, go watch that other video. It's probably the easiest way to do it than getting into too much detail here. But I knew once I did that then I would probably go back and start working through the challenges, because I do enjoy what this brings to the game and gives you that kind of way to compete and so forth. But again, to be clear, these challenges don't help me progress further. They won't give me any better scores, but I don't necessarily need them per se at this point. The only benefit I'd really have is moving up in the spotter score, which is seeing different liveries, but that's really a bit of a gamble as to whether you're going to get something or not. I hit a legendary one pretty quickly, so that helped me move up pretty high on the leaderboard in the top 50 or so. I think I've fallen out of the top 50 now. I feel I could move along a little bit if I gave myself some time there, but I have shared that I'm not going to go ahead and invest in spending for the monthly subscription yet, because we're going to be moving basically right after that would renew, and so I'd be losing a week or two probably where I couldn't even use it. So I'm going to wait to do that, but it probably will slow down as far as when I go in here because I've backed up other things that I normally do on the channel. I did get my Euro truck video out on time, that it showed up today when it should have, but it wasn't out early, and I need to get a few of those in the books, and I'm in danger of, with some of my VAs, having a problem. So there's things I need to do that, will be a challenge if I don't jump into them. So I'm definitely going to be trying to focus on a few other things the next few days now that I've done this. So this is kind of my last hurrah of just really staying focused on Tower Companion, and then I'm going to go ahead and step back probably into other things. But if I am in here, it will be in challenges. Alright, so this is runway 4. So I can use this runway, but this runway is closed. So we're going to see how things run. One of the things I did learn, I think, was, I don't want to rush too much in the beginning, because things will come out.
With information alpha, requesting push and start.
American 2042, pushback approved, expect runway 4.
Pushback approved, expect runway 4. American 2042.
Now, I did not set things. Yeah, runway 4 is good, but I do want to close things up. That will also help, because I think I had the challenge with some things not coming in because I had things set differently. The other thing that will be different here is it should also compress the arrivals a little bit more, because kind of the approach setting of how it keeps things separated before they even hit my scopes here is that instead of 2.5 miles, that's down to 1 mile. And then, but again, they have a separation of 3 miles here. But we'll get a few things pulled back and ready to go. But what you'll see is I'll be issuing a command here where I'll taxi, and then I'll very quickly give it a line up and wait command, because that's the problem. It's not that long of a taxi route, and once we have a few planes going, then you can kind of stop worrying about that, because once you have the line up and wait, it can sit there as long as you want, and it's not going to count against you, which is really what the key point of the challenge is. So I think those are, kind of the biggest tip and trick that you can learn here, and that will probably help. But obviously, and we have till 9 o'clock.
5824 on final fall.
Brickyard 5824, runway 4, cleared to land. American 2042, taxi to runway 4.
Runway 4, clear to land. Brickyard 5824.
American 2042, runway 04, line up and wait.
Taxi to runway 4. American
so now at this point,
runway 4.
I will not lose any points because there's nothing to block it getting to the runway, and now it can wait. JetBlue 29er, pushback approved, expect runway 4.
Pushback approved, expect runway 4.
Oh, I was somehow...
JetBlue 299.
I saw the pointer. I mean, this is obviously a Southwest flight, so silly me. It's not going there, but...
JetBlue 299 with information alpha, requesting push and start.
And again, you do get some time for it to call. I think it actually gives you about 30 seconds after they call before you start getting penalized for a delay. The other thing you can do is you can issue a standby command. I forgot to share that. If you issue standby, then you don't get a delay either because you've communicated with them. So that is good to know. But those are things I did not know when I tried this the first time and was experimenting with things. So I have a high confidence level that my result will be an improvement over where I was at before. I think I'm sitting at number 53 out of 200 some that have tried this challenge at this point. So I expect that I will move up the list from that.
JetBlue 231 on final 4.
JetBlue 231, runway 4, cleared to land. And yeah, they don't call it 04 here,
Runway
so
4, cleared
it
to
does
land.
seem to work.
JetBlue 231.
Now again, we are pretty busy on the departures. So, but the nice thing
We're already
is,
aground.
I could
JetBlue
wait.
299 ready to taxi.
I don't have to rush. I don't have to be out by 8. JetBlue 299, taxi to runway 4.
Taxi to runway 4. JetBlue 299.
JetBlue 299, runway 4, line up and wait. Delta 342, pushback approved, expect runway 4. So now as long as I don't
Runway
have
4, line up and
things
wait.
showing up
JetBlue
at the same
299.
terminals, or they're not
Pushback
having a
approved, expect runway
problem.
4, Delta
Let's see.
342.
He's far enough away. I think we're going to go. American 2042, runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff. Upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure.
Runway 4, cleared for immediate
Wow, we
takeoff.
can
On
go, we
reaching
can
altitude
go.
500,
But with the
contact
lineup and
departure.
wait, if I
American
have a lot of
2042.
arrivals, because, you know, things are bumped together or something, I can just let the planes wait and
LaGuardia ground,
send them all
Delta
off after I
342,
get all the
information
arrivals,
Alpha,
and it
requesting
won't be
push and
delayed,
start.
I don't think. So, I mean, I don't know for certain. I could be wrong.
LaGuardia ground, Spirit Wings 3383 with information Alpha, requesting push and start.
Spirit Wings 3383, pushback approved, expect runway 4. So I think that's,
Pushback
yeah,
approved,
across the
expect
way
runway
there.
4. Spirit Wings 3383.
Now the challenge here with the lineup and wait,
5311 on final 4.
Endeavor 5311, runway 4, cleared to land.
Runway 4, cleared to land. Endeavor 5311.
And again, we may get the Spirit Wings there first.
LaGuardia ground,
Which will be
Delta
great.
342 ready to taxi.
Delta 342, taxi to runway 4.
Taxi to runway 4, Delta 342.
Delta 342, runway 4, line up and wait. See, and so they all
Runway
show
4,
up
line up and wait. Delta 342.
on the Tower Commander. They all show up as line up and wait now instead of taxiing. And so, you know, that's a visual way you can also check and just know that things are in good shape. But we've got our first landing. There's 25 total flights here that we're trying to deal with over a 2-hour period, too. So we don't have to rush, because we got these done in about an hour last time.
LaGuardia ground, Spirit Wings 3383 ready to taxi.
Spirit Wings 3383, taxi to runway 4. Spirit Wings 3383, runway 4, line up and wait. Now again, I'm pretty sure it will beat
Taxi to
things
runway 4,
here.
Spirit Wings 3383.
Brickyard 5824, taxi to terminal. Now I may have had a delay. I don't know, we did
Line
not.
up and wait.
So
Spirit
that
Wings
is good.
3383. Taxi to terminal. Brickyard 5824.
LaGuardia ground, Brickyard 5811 with information Alpha, requesting push and start.
Brickyard 5811, pushback approved, expect runway 4. Brickyard 5824, taxi to terminal via Bravo.
Pushback
yes,
approved, expect runway
It's
4.
Alpha
Brickyard
and Bravo,
5811.
but that way they'll
Taxi
stay
to
out of
terminal,
each other's
Bravo.
way. That's the
Brickyard
most important thing.
5824.
Now if I go over
LaGuardia Tower,
here,
FlixJet 576
Right.
on final 4.
so we're good. FlexJet 576, runway 4, cleared to land. Now we go back here.
Runway 4, cleared to land. FlixJet
So yeah,
576.
it's just really keeping things out of the way, but now the lineup and wait will go, and we'll be good. We won't have any delays, where this was where I was already starting to run into problems. But now we'll be able to line up and wait. I'll be able to get one of those planes off before. And so the biggest challenge is, yes, when the Spirit Wings are coming in from that side, that is a bit of a problem. So, yes, I do just need to be careful. Brickyard still has not called in, so I'm trying to keep track of things, because, yes, it's getting a little bit hectic. But this now had messed me up before. Now let's see if he's going to come off here. JetBlue 231, taxi to terminal via Bravo.
Taxi to terminal via Bravo. JetBlue 231. LaGuardia ground, Brickyard 5811 ready to taxi.
JetBlue 231, taxi to terminal via Bravo. Okay. There it goes.
Negative. Taxiway not found. JetBlue 231.
Brickyard 5811, taxi to runway 4.
Taxi to runway 4. Brickyard 5811.
Brickyard 5811, runway 4, line up and wait. So as long as they get past that one gate, we'll be fine.
Brickyard 5811.
Alright, so at this point I'm probably going to let the Endeavour land. And again, this is where I was rushing before, and I don't need to do that, is what I determined. So that is a good thing. I mean, obviously it will help if I do that, because things will move quicker. But yes, this is going to turn in front, so we're potentially going to have a problem, but because the JetBlue's going in there, but hopefully not. So we shall see. So we'll keep an eye out here. I think we've got about 45 seconds till the next one calls. Now I think this one should start moving. So I hope they won't. JetBlue 23... No, okay, it's going to cross and go. JetBlue 2231, hold position. Brickyard 5811, taxi to runway 4 via Bravo.
Negative. Taxiway not found. Brickyard 5811.
Brickyard 5811, hold position. Brickyard 5811, continue taxi. Alright, so it was doing okay. I was panicking a bit. Endeavour 5311, taxi to terminal. So we do have a little bit of a delay. We got 5 seconds and 3. Endeavour 5311, taxi to terminal via Bravo. Endeavour 5311, cross runway 31. American 632, pushback approved, expect runway 4.
Taxi to terminal via Bravo. Endeavour 5311.
So,
Cross runway 31. Endeavour 5311.
Spirit Wings 3383, runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Okay, so we're going to get going here.
Runway 4. American 632.
Runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff.
Brickyard
Reaching altitude
5811,
500,
runway 4, line up and wait.
Spirit Wings 3383.
Runway 4. Line up and wait. Brickyard 5811.
Okay, so these should all stay out of each other's way.
American 632 with information alpha. Requesting push and start.
Okay, so that is already going, but we will have another one call at 7, or no, this, wait, yeah, this was the 712, so we're good there. Alright, so that is that, and now we've got the FlexJet, so we'll get that taxiing. We've got 3 flights that are done. So we'll just have to watch, because he'll stop quickly, quicker than most. FlexJet 576, taxi to terminal. Alright, so he's going over there.
That's Jet 576.
So nothing else needed there.
American 632.
And now we've got a little bit of time. American 632, taxi to runway 4.
Taxi to runway 4. American 632.
American 632, runway 4, line up and wait.
Runway 4, line up and wait. American 632.
JetBlue 299, runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. Whoops, I think it lost that.
Command property error. JetBlue 299.
JetBlue 299, runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
Runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff.
So I ended up,
upon reaching
if you
altitude
click
500.
outside
Contact
the
departure.
screen,
JetBlue 299.
it causes a problem. But yeah, so we've got a little bit of time.
LaGuardia ground, Southwest 245 with information Alpha, requesting push and start.
Southwest 245, pushback approved, expect runway 4.
Pushback approved, expect
So,
runway
good
4.
news is,
Southwest 245.
everybody's come into the terminal. We've got a little bit of a reprieve, but now you can see we've got the Endeavor coming in. Endeavor 5454, runway 4, cleared to land. And that is a 713, so it's a little bit behind, but not much. Alright. Delta 342, runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. American is on line up and wait, so we're good.
On reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Delta 342.
And again, they've been waiting quite a long time, but there's no delay. There is a delay here because we did have something for 5 seconds. I may have not called or something, I don't know. But I did get a 5-second delay on this departure, so that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. We've got to keep an eye on the southwest, but it's still rotating around. Okay, the Endeavor's done. That one hasn't taken off yet, so now we have, let's see, when's Delta gonna go? There we go. So now we have 8 flights handled. Let's keep going. Brickyard 5811, runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. So again, this is where I was panicking a bit before the first time through, and I created all kinds of delays because I didn't realize that line up and wait would do something. Southwest 245, taxi to runway 4.
Taxi to runway 4, Southwest 245.
Southwest 245, runway 4, line up and wait. So yeah, actually the Brickyard, the delay was the pause on the taxi when we were waiting for the cross to come in, is what was happening there. But yeah, we'll be able to get the American off. I don't know that we'll be able to get the next one off, but right now we don't have anything else coming in, so that's okay. American 632, runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. So this will get us to 10 of 25 handled.
Contact departure. American 632.
We'll wait for the JetBlue to call in this time.
LaGuardia ground, JetBlue 1471 with information Alpha, requesting push and start.
JetBlue 1471, pushback approved, expect runway 4. Alright.
Pushback approved, expect runway 4.
So yeah, I didn't realize there's like just a little bit of a, like a little bay or something. Well, no, maybe the river goes around back there, I'm not sure. So maybe that's an island. I'm not sure if there is or not. Doesn't ultimately matter. Alright, so there goes the American. So now we are at 10 flights handled. But obviously we've got 2 on the ground. Sorry about that. A little bit of a hiccup there. And we're going to have another one calling in a few minutes. But we've got the Endeavor coming in. This one's line up and wait, so we can move a bit. So we will do this so that we can get a little bit closer. But the JetBlue, I just want to make sure, because that's sometimes how I get into trouble, is I speed things up, and then it calls, and because you're on a real fast speed, suddenly you have a time penalty that you wouldn't have expected otherwise. But yeah, it looks like we're going to let the Endeavour go.
1471 ready to taxi.
JetBlue 1471, taxi to runway 4. JetBlue 1471, runway 4, line up and wait. So everybody's set now.
Taxi to runway
Whoop.
4.
Oh, okay.
JetBlue 1471.
I'm like, it's not changing. But
Runway 4, line up and wait. JetBlue 1471.
so again, we just need to get everybody off. But at this point, I think I have a total of 8 seconds of delay. So I think it will take something off because of that. I think you're like automatically getting the 10. But as long as I don't exceed a minute, that's all I'll lose is 10 points. As long as I get everybody there and I don't get anyone nose to nose. So again, as long as I taxi to Bravo and all that, I should be good. So let's see when this reports. He's going to get over there. So some of these roll a little further. I'm sure it depends what kind of plane it is. They can't stop as quickly. Endeavour 5454, taxi to terminal via Bravo, cross runway 31.
Taxi to terminal via Bravo.
So again,
Cross
he's going
runway
way
31.
down there.
Endeavour 5454.
So as long as nothing calls in from the D gates, or if we get it out fast enough, then we'll be good. But yeah, we'll see how everything goes. Alright, so everybody's going. Southwest 245, runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. So no delays on the 3 on the board.
Takeoff on reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Southwest 245.
And, you know, Endeavour's moving. So that is the nice thing with this challenge is, I mean, yeah, you can get yourself in a little bit of trouble because LaGuardia is a compact layout to some degree. I mean, it does help that you have this area here.
Requesting push and start.
Delta 2919, pushback approved, expect runway 4. So what we need to do is get out of there before this gets down there, which hopefully we can do. We're going to have an American going soon. So let's see. Let me come over here, and we'll get going there. Come on back. Come on, come on. I just don't... I'm hoping we can exit, because otherwise, oh boy. Yeah, this is going to be tight, because it's going to take a bit, so I may have to pause. Let me look at where Endeavour is going. If it's going in to a gate ahead, but it's not. So let's see. So I'm gonna
ground. Delta 2919 ready to taxi.
So I'm gonna cheat a little bit, but I don't think they can pass. They can't. So all right. So we're gonna have to see what we're doing there. Delta 2919, taxi to runway 4.
Taxi to runway 4, Delta 2919.
Endeavour 5454, hold position. So we are going to get a bit of a delay here, but
Hold position.
it's better
Endeavour
than
5454.
not getting the 100 points for it coming in. Delta 2919, runway 4, line up and wait. And again, we'll see.
Line up and wait.
We'll see what kind of a hold we've got. JetBlue 1471, runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure.
Runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff on reaching altitude 500, contact departure. JetBlue 1471.
Endeavour 5454, continue taxi.
Continue taxi. Endeavour 5454.
Alright, and again, if it has to pause, like it is now, because there's some concern.
Requesting push and start. start.
American 1249, pushback approved, expect runway 4. So again, we're now right about a minute, because that was 43 seconds that we were delayed there. So that is not terrific, but there's nothing we can do in that case.
Brickyard 5773 on final 4.
Brickyard 5773, runway 4, cleared to land. So yeah, it just would have been nice if that Brickyard went out faster. And the problem is too, Bravo is quicker. So Bravo does I think run along faster. So yeah, we've got a lot of that going on. But let's head back over here. And again, if I'm not number 1 on the leaderboard or whatever, or vying for number 1, it doesn't really matter. It's just interesting. So yes, it's not going to push all the way back here, so we'll be fine. And again, this is moving. This is going to take some time to clear the pushback truck. So I would say he's going to be a good ways away, or a good ways along, before we can move the American along anyway. It takes about 1.5 to 2 minutes for them to go ahead and do what they need to do. Just verifying I have line up and wait. I do.
Ready for taxi.
American 1249, taxi to runway 4. American 1249, runway 4, line up and wait.
Taxi to runway 4, American 1239. Runway 4, line up and wait, American 1239.
And again, yes, there's a little bit of slowdown here, obviously. Doesn't help when it dances around like that, but as long as, you know, they stay clear of each other, and again, I'm thinking it'll be fine. Because once it gets going, I'm sure it'll move along. It just slows down a bit there. But again, things are far enough. You know, one's at the B terminal, one's at the C terminal that's going to call in next. The problem is Brickyard is coming to the C terminal, the one that's landing, and it's obviously still a ways away, so there may be a conflict there. Because, yeah, they're literally going on gates next to each other. C15 is what this one's arriving at.
JetBlue 2732 with information alpha, requesting push and start.
JetBlue 2732, pushback approved, expect runway 4.
Pushback approved.
So that's B, and then C, I think, is here. So the only potential is it's C15 and C16, so maybe they're on the opposite side and they'll stay clear of each other, but I don't know. So if I go over here, because, yeah, it's a Brickyard, so it shouldn't be, I don't think it's this, because I think this is CD, or no, I think this is D, so... Yeah, because you can see these are all D gates. These are C. So 9. Yeah, I can't quite tell, but I'm guessing that they might just be sequenced here. Let me just make sure I'm not creating my own problem here. Nope, we're not. Alright. Delta 2919, runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
Alright,
we'll get him off before Brickyard gets in. And again, we'll just be further away. But at this point, we are more than halfway completed. Just so you're aware, we already have 13 flights handled. This will be 14, 15, 16, 17. So while it does provide 2 hours to get this done, it doesn't take that long. So that is a way to make a challenge work as well. JetBlue 2732, taxi to runway 4. JetBlue 2732, runway 4, line up and wait. Okay, so again, 732, which is 2 minutes away.
Runway 4, line up and wait. JetBlue 2732.
So yeah, we'll have to see, because again, if it starts to push back and goes, I just don't know how quickly this Brickyard's going to get there. And again, if it doesn't slow down and it crosses the runway, like some of them are slowing down fast enough that they can exit here. That would help if we can do that in this case. I just don't know. It looks pretty good. It looks like it might work. Yeah, I think we'll be good. Brickyard 5773, taxi to terminal via Bravo. That exited probably the fastest I've ever exited.
Brickyard 5773.
Alright, so we're going way over there. So again, a long way, but Bravo is quick. And we are now, the problem is we're down to a minute. So I've got another potential solution here. So we'll have to see, because if it's this one and not this one, I don't want to push back yet. But what I can do then is I can tell this plane to stand by, and it won't cause me a problem. So this is partially what we need to keep track of. American 1249, runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
Runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff on
So,
reaching altitude
15
500.
seconds.
Contact departure. American 1239.
But we've had no delay other than the Endeavor that we had to stop recently. Everything else we've dealt with since then has
Lookout ground.
been...
Brickyard 5770 with information Alpha.
So we're going to tell him to wait. Brickyard 5770, stand by. And this should then
Stand by.
not
Brickyard
create a
5770.
problem. Now, I think, again, if you stand by for a really long time, like, the game does give you a problem. Like, I think if you get to, like, 8 or 9 minutes, like, it just penalizes you at that point. Like, all right, you're just crazy. But, obviously, this is going to the inside gate. And so what I was looking at here was like, oh, can I have it come in on the other one? But they can't pass each other. There's not enough room that they're allowed to pass. So if I didn't hold him out here like I had done on the other one, it would have been a bigger problem. But this will be a test, because I haven't, again, done this on the challenges. We don't have anything coming in, so in theory I could clear the JetBlue, but we'll go ahead and we'll hold on. It's still saying 00 on my TS3 assistant, so we haven't gotten to a minute of standby yet. We probably will before he gets to the gate. But I mean, this is the proper way to handle things. So if it penalizes us, then other folks will get it. So the issue with challenges, or with anything here, is while the flight schedule is the same, where the game assigns them to the gates is not. So that is somewhat random. They'll be in the same terminals, so sometimes you have a problem because it's the luck of the draw and it's causing you an issue. JetBlue 2732, runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. Alright.
Runway 4,
So,
cleared for
but that way
immediate
that
takeoff
one's
on
done.
reaching altitude
Alright,
500.
so now it's
Contact
2
departure.
minutes, so it's
JetBlue
given me 2 minutes
2732.
there. And I don't want to call him too early, because I've run into a problem with that before, where then they still say they're in conflict, and you get a major thing, and you've got to delete one of them. So at this point, it's either going to not penalize me or it will, and at this, it is what it is. Okay, so I can go now. Brickyard 5770, pushback approved, expect runway 4. Alright, and it says delay.
Runway 4, Brickyard 5770.
Delay is non-existent. So that, again, tip and trick for how to do well and maximize your score. So JetBlue's up. We now have 17 handled, 8 flights left, and that one already checked in there, so that is counted in the 17. So at this point, this will be flight 18. We don't have anything else, but we do have a Delta on the board coming in, and we have a Southwest that we'll be calling in to depart, which will then get us to 20 flights. And we should be in pretty good shape then. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, I'm at a minute, because we have 11 seconds plus 43, so we're at 54. So if I can avoid any more delays, and again, this is how I can do it. Like if I had called and had that one stand by here, I could have avoided that 43-second delay for the other one that I had. But once he's going, we'll go ahead and we'll move some things.
Southwest 668 with information alpha, requesting push and start.
Southwest 668, pushback approved, expect runway 4. So once he's ready to go,
Pushback
we'll
approved,
speed time up a
expect
bit.
runway 4. Southwest 668.
LaGuardia ground. Brickyard 5770 ready to taxi.
Brickyard 5770, taxi to runway 4. Brickyard 5770, runway 4, line up and wait.
Taxi to runway 4, Brickyard 5770. Runway 4, line up and wait. Brickyard 5770.
Alright, so that one's moving back. Again, it should take about 2 minutes. So we should have
LaGuardia
some
Tower,
movement.
Delta 1639 on final 4.
Delta 1639, runway 4, cleared to land. Again, no
Runway
delay,
4, clear
so
to
we were
land.
able to get
Delta
that done
1639.
fast enough. We're going to hop over to this side of the airport, because again, the Southwest will...
LaGuardia ground. Southwest
There we go.
668 ready to taxi.
Southwest 668, taxi to runway 4.
Taxi to runway 4. Southwest 668.
Now, this could become a problem. Southwest 668, runway 4, line up and wait.
Runway 4. Line up and wait. Southwest 668.
Maybe not. We're kind of at that same point, although they're closer because it had gone by and it had gone way around. But I believe this is a much slower taxiway. But again, it's got the little dance here that's potentially going to cause me an issue. So we'll have to see what happens. But, yeah, it's still a ways away. We're probably going to get a plane off, I would think. So, it's coming around. Got a long way to go. But like I said, I wish it would turn faster, but as long as it's starting to go before it gets to the turn, we'll be good. But the problem is, see, now it slows down, and then it's got a really slow trip around, and it's hard to say, is it slower than it's moving on this taxiway. It's really a bit iffy. And then it's got to get there. I mean, again, it's going to take that turn slow, and I think this stays pretty slow here, so I think we're okay. I think the Brickyard will pull ahead. I hope so. I hope they don't both start moving at the same pace, because that would be bad. Because then I am going to have to pause the Southwest. But yeah, the Brickyard is moving along. Just kind of keep an eye on it. But as long as it stops on its own, I don't get a delay call. But yeah, we're fine. Now they're definitely ahead of each other. And again, this one's going to slow down to make the turn. So you can see, put the brakes on and went ahead and did that. And we're going to get this Brickyard going. Brickyard 5770, runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
Runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff. On reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Brickyard 5770.
It should be fine. I'm getting a little nervous, I won't lie. But we should be fine. Because it didn't hesitate or any of that. I mean, it does take a little bit of time to make that turn and all of that. Just making sure the Southwest is line up and wait. It is. And so, again, as long as he starts accelerating before he kind of gets there, like, they're usually okay. They usually kind of stay out of each other's way. So, a little over a minute before the next departure calls. Because, again, I think he does a little bit of the lineup and wait. He's not, like, going super fast, but right there is when now he's on the throttle. So now he's going, you know, 8 mile, 8 knots, 11, you know, so they're moving along, and now, you know, now it's going a little quicker. I mean, it's claiming it's at 20 knots, but I'm sure it's faster than that by now. But yeah, we're good. And this one's line up and wait, and he can just camp there if he needs to. So, actually, I'm not sure what the plot. Maybe it's just seconds. I thought that was speed, but there's no way he's only going 40. Alright, so now we have 18.
Ground. Spirit Wings 171 with information alpha. Requesting push and start.
Spirit Wings 171, pushback approved. Expect runway 4. Alright, and the good news is there will be no conflict with these now, because there's nothing on the board even getting ready to call in. So everything will be perfect there. So we'll just focus on this delta, because we're able to breathe. I mean, it's actually quite simple, which is why this is probably an entry-level challenge. Delta 1639, taxi to terminal via Bravo. Alright, so he's going way down as well.
Delta 1639.
It's not great that they're all going way down there, but that is what they're doing. So once he now resets, it should change. Again, why it doesn't just go straight, I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. Alright. Southwest 668, runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. Alright, and there is one now that will be calling in, but it's still almost 5 minutes away. And it is in the B, at the B gates, not the D gates, which is where that one's heading. I'm sure the Spirit Wings, there we go.
Ready to taxi.
Spirit Wings 171, taxi to runway 4.
Taxi to runway 4. Spirit Wings 171.
Spirit Wings 4, runway 4, line up and wait. Whoop. Spirit Wings 171, runway 4, line up and wait. Got a little tongue-tied there, sorry.
Line up and wait. Spirit Wings 171.
Because, yeah, it does hit the line pretty quickly. I think it's up there, but I just didn't want it to suddenly pull out and not be ready to go. But we can just send this out. Spirit Wings 171, runway 4. Cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
Runway 4. Cleared for immediate takeoff on reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. Spirit Wings 171.
Okay. So now at this point, we can really move along, because nothing is happening. I just got to be careful. 748 or so is when it's going to go. So I do have a flight coming in, so I don't want that problem, but we have 20 now completed of 25, and we have one taxiing, getting put away there, so we'll pop over here. He's just about at the gate, then we'll be at 21, and then we have one arriving, and one will be calling in not very long, so I'm just going to go to 4. There we go.
5382 on final 4.
Endeavour 5382, runway 4, cleared to land. Alright, so he is good. Now we can move another 30 seconds, and we'll have that United call in. There he is.
Ground, United 1710 with information Alpha, requesting push and start.
United 1710, pushback approved, expect runway 4.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 4, United 1710.
So, alright, there'll be a JetBlue calling in, also from the B gates, so it's here somewhere. There it is, I think. You know, and that's the thing, like, these are just numbered. So, it's hard to say. Well, there's a JetBlue there, too, so it could be either one of these. I don't remember which one, because I'm sure one of these pulled in, and they don't tend to go out on the challenges. But let me move this along, because there's no real reason that we need to delay.
LaGuardia ground, United 1710 ready to taxi.
United 1710, taxi to runway 4.
Taxi to runway 4, United 1710.
United 1710, runway 4, line up and wait.
Runway 4, line up and wait, United 1710.
Okay, we can actually move this quite a bit quicker. We can probably go 16 times, but I don't want to blow it here at the end just because I'm rushing, but I also don't want to make it super dull for you just sitting and watching and nothing's really happening. So, about 45 seconds before we'll have another one call, and then again we've got another one a minute after that. So, now the Endeavor's probably going to continue on, yep, because those are the ones that went by. So whatever plane this is, it's an A320, so I don't know, we'll see. Endeavor 5382, taxi to terminal via Bravo, cross runway 31. Just trying to be very deliberate in the call.
Via Bravo, cross runway 31.
Alright, so again, the planes calling in are Bravo and Charlie, so... Alright, and you can see where he is.
with information alpha, requesting push and start.
JetBlue 1234, pushback approved, expect runway 4.
Pushback approved, expect runway 4. JetBlue 1234.
United 1710, runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure.
Runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff on reaching altitude 500, contact departure.
Alright, so
United
between that
1710.
one, the one taxiing, and this one, and then there's a Frontier calling in, that's it. We should be done then. So the Frontier flight should call in about a minute. So we'll go ahead and get this going. There we go.
3133 with information alpha, requesting push and start.
Frontier Flight 3133, pushback approved, expect runway 4.
Pushback approved, expect runway 4. Frontier Flight 3133.
And again, everybody's out of each other's way because I'm using Bravo and Alpha appropriately, kind of as a single direction. So, you can hear the plane spooling up under us. It's a big United, an A320 as well, so... And there it goes, 22 of 25. JetBlue 1234, taxi to runway 4.
Taxi to runway 4. JetBlue 1234.
Alright, we'll head out here. JetBlue 1234, runway 4, line up and wait. Again, we just want to stick with the process so that we don't mess anything up. And then again, you know, it'll get going. Frontier flight will get going. So, it should be pretty close. There we go.
Frontier Flight 3133 ready to taxi.
Frontier Flight 3133, taxi to runway 4.
Taxi to runway 4. Frontier Flight 3133.
Frontier Flight 3133, runway 4, line up and wait. So again, these are close enough that this one may need to wait before that one is done and taken off. And then, yeah, the Endeavor's coming in, so it'll park itself there. So we'll get ourselves over here, just kind of watch where we're going. So everybody's getting to the runways. We'll move them along, because at this point, there's no reason we need to wait. Alright. JetBlue 1234, runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
Runway 4, clear for immediate takeoff.
So yeah, I think there will be no waiting. The Frontier flight isn't right there, and at this point, yes, it will be moving, and it might get here before the takeoff roll starts, but I don't think, like, there's no reason to rush it. But there's, it should be pretty clean. So again, some of doing well with this is just understanding the nuances of what causes a delay. And so, like I said, the standby is a key one, because I have used standby with taxiing planes as well, and that has caused things not to accumulate. So that was actually a good thing to learn. I really thought standby was only while waiting for clearance at the gate. But you can issue it anywhere. Again, this is an A321. Or no, this is an A320. The Frontier flight's an A321. So there we go. It is off, and we can now issue this and be done. Frontier Flight 3133, runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
Runway 4, cleared for immediate takeoff. On reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Frontier Flight 3133.
Alright, so challenge in progress, challenge complete. So there we go. We did lose 10 because we had a delay of a minute. So we're at 2490, but we handled 100%. So, you know, we could get 10 more points. That's it. So if I go here, there we go. It looks like just because of dates, you know, the latest one ends up in first place. So, and well, and actually I did legitimately end up, so it's not the latest one. I did legitimately end up in first place. So there's several people that did 2470, but I did 2490, and probably almost certainly some of it was the little tips and tricks that I had here. But you can see these are older, but there's 220 competitors that have attempted this, so I feel pretty good about where I ended up here. So 17 takeoffs, 8 landings is how that's divided. You know, pretty fun. So yeah, what we're looking at here is there's 5 official challenges. So I feel more comfortable that these are probably more fleshed out like this, where everything runs. But, you know, we had the shared challenge of this one that was miserable. I had done the Stuttgart one as well. You can see one attempt and one complete. I'm trying to remember. I think I did pretty well. Oh, I'm holding the lead in that one. And some people have tried since me, because I think there were very few of us that had done it. I think I was the 3rd one to try it. Because, yeah, well, I guess the 4th. So you can see the 2nd, the 14th, well, and maybe the 3rd, because maybe Gibby or Gilby or whatever his name is that also tried it on the 14th. Although I think there was a 0 there, so maybe it was this one that got 400. But, you know, and people could look at it and be like, yeah, I'm not interested. And I know I gave the first rating, so someone else rated it, gave it a 4 as well. But, you know, the challenge with some of these is just depending on what the schedule is, you know, it can take longer, because I'm guessing all of these really are the 2-hour layout. You know, I think several people have done the Heathrow blackout. I've heard a lot of lot of comments about that. But yeah, I'm going to probably get through the official challenges and just go through them. Maybe just in order. That seems as logical. I only had picked this one first because it was the lowest number of flights, and it's like, hey, it'll give me the best chance. So that is likely what I will do before we head out and move. And then once we move back and I get myself set up, I'm absolutely at the point I've spent enough time in here that I will absolutely go ahead and start a supporting subscription, which will give us more access to it. And again, I may choose to stop it at some point. We'll see how it goes. We'll go from there, and then I can publish the challenge that I've built and hopefully get some folks enjoying that. And I think it'll be fun creating some things for people here. But yeah, you can't do anything where you're sharing schedules. But as I said, I've created this RDU one, just 28 flights. I will do that at some point. And then if I go here, I have 2 schedules remaining on my trial. So if I decide, hey, I want to do a schedule, I want to get a little further, I may do that. But you can see again, no, I guess I am still in the top 50. But it would be nice to, maybe see if I can get the spotter score up and so forth, and just keep getting more of the achievements unlocked, because right now we've got 21, but there's a lot. I don't know how many there are in total, but there's a good 50 or so airports that are there, I think, that are official. Maybe it's not quite that many, but seems like a lot. But as always, if you've enjoyed this, haven't dropped a like, or are not a subscriber, please consider that, and I will see you next time.